And it was a devastating thing for me to how the series of events happened. It was at my home. I'm the one that had to make the phone call to my mother and my father and my other brother and sisters. I'm the one that had to make that phone call. And what happens is that when something sets you back in life, it gets you to a place of feeling that there is no moving forward, that you are stuck in that period, you're stuck in that time. It almost makes you feel like you're trapped.
Yeah.
And at that time of my life, I literally felt trapped in that scenario, in that situation, that there was no coming out from it. And you sit and you ask me a question of people that might not have been burned or might not have been hurt in that way, but they feel like they're set back and they can't get out of the situation that they're in. This is what I would say, is that number one, begin to rebuild your faith in Christ. It all begins there. You know, one of the hardest things I found is I began to question God. I began to question God, why certain things happen, why, you know, my brother's life ended the way it did, and why my family's life is going the way it's going from that fallout of that. And you know, when you begin to ask questions of God this way, you don't always get the answers that you want, and sometimes the heavens seem brass. You know, it seems like there's not an answer coming. And I tell you what was one of the things that began to restore me was the love and grace that I felt poured out on me. I felt it poured out on me from my family. I felt it poured out on me from my church. I felt it poured out on me just directly from Him, just from God Himself. And the thing of it is I had a moment in my life that I was rejecting that grace. And I was rejecting that love, because when you're in a certain place that you feel like you're trapped, what happens is you begin to reject things you should not be rejecting.
Yeah.
Because you've been rejected. You feel rejected. You feel it's your right to reject other things. And what happened is at that moment, you know, I had a short period of time where I was rejecting God's grace. I was rejecting God's mercy simply because I felt I was unworthy. You know, I held myself responsible for a lot of things. And you know what? When I finally reached a place in my life where I would accept God's grace and I would accept His mercy, I finally reached a place where I could begin to heal. And I think that's where a lot of people need to realize today, that if you feel like you're trapped and you feel like you can't get out of the place that you're in, number one, begin to rebuild that relationship. Number two, begin to simply accept, whether you feel worthy of it or not, whether you feel like you've earned it or not, just simply begin to accept His grace, accept His mercy, accept His love, and allow Him to restore you to the place that you need to be.
If you like what you saw, make sure to like this video and comment below. Hit that subscribe button for more content uploaded weekly.